Hello, everyone. This is your noir narrator. Let's just get right into it. The Unfair Folk by user LordsofJoop.
They caught him at the starport, and he took out 15, non-lethally, might I add, of their security team alone, naked, except for the hat.
The agent sipped on her drink, the warmth of it radiating through her mug.
Stowed away on the inbound supply circuit freighter from Sensa. No camouflage, just a naked lunatic.
The other half of the equation, he shook his head, bemused, expression fixed on his aged face. These things are just the definition of insanity. We've caught, 8 of them so far? She nodded in reply.
8, with another 2 still out on the Riso Ridge, running endless circles around the Grand Crater's rim.
Their colony, a settlement in what was once the Terran Unity, was marked by a gigantic divot carved out by an ancient impact, the crater of it 500 kilometers in circumference. Within it lay the fractal majority of the colonists, most of whom had been there for over 3 generations' time. You'd figure that our security teams could catch 2 nutters who are working on a linear path, he says, irritated at the ongoing and failed efforts to catch the 2 escapees from local law enforcement.
And you'd be wrong. All they like to do is spray graffiti, vandalize vehicles, and scatter fungus all over the place.
She smirked, shaking her head.
Just no sense to anything that these creatures do, really. Well, time to go have a chat with that, little nutter.
Snorting, she set her cup down and entered the interrogation room and was struck with an impression of the wrong idea being in play somehow, that an error had been made, somewhere early and important. Waving off, she took her seat, looked to the shackled creature, absorbing its details dispassionately. It had a freshly broken nose, was obviously a male of its species, and had been dressed in prison hospital gowns, albeit one-sized for the local species, which was twice as tall as it was. Staring at her defiantly, the creature sneered, exposing where 5 of its teeth had been cracked, likely during the recent brawl that printed bruises in the shape of knuckles on its cheek and chin.
"Am I being detained? Is it by your authority?"
It said, its voice hoarse, ruined, like it had shouted at considerable volume for a long time. To this, she smirked, then nodded.
"Oh, most definitely, yes to both of those ideas. And likely until you're dead, little monster."
It smiled at them, grinning from ear to ear, then gave a panting noise as if it was excited by that idea.
"Oh, lovely. Thank you for that."
She felt it again, the fluid wrongness of the moment washing over and through her. Her partner, entering the interrogation room, stared at the creature in open disgust. "By the powers, that thing is hideous," he said, taking a seat next to her, opposite of the feral-looking thing with the ruddy cheeks, bright crimson hair perched on its head ruefully. "Where you're from, are you considered average, ugly, beautiful?" To this, the smiling man raised his eyebrow.
"I'm not considered by most, and when I am, I'm reconsidered considerably."
He chuckled, and it felt like the walls of the room warped, tightening around them, then relaxed, a corpse's jaw going slack. He gripped the table, seeing her do the same. The monster was getting to their nerves. They'd been warned by others who had captured them.
"I have no food to offer you, weary fools," it said, all smiles and danger. "You'll have to beg me to spit in your faces, though. A day like no other is soon to dawn. Oh my, and won't it be wondrous?"
He panted again, tongue lolling in an obscene mirroring of an exhausted animal, or, perversely, an aroused one. Repulsed, she squinted at the creature.
"You're shackled, in a chair bolted inside of a dark, unnumbered room in the custody of the secret police," she said patiently. "An alien, with no representative on this world, in a government which does not accept your world's sovereignty to exist at all. And still, you think that you have some upper hand in this affair? I applied your bravado. It's just that you're unreasonably stupid for a human."
The creature's smile died violently, and it spoke, acid in its tone.
"Take that back, and take it back now, child. Before you, I was, and I have forgotten more cruelties than I will teach you for this insolence. Take it back now!"
It growled, and the table felt like a wild animal bucking and writhing, although it never moved an inch. Both of the agents released their grips on it, staring in horror as the creature smiled again, returning to what passed for peacefulness.
You don't like being told that you're powerless? Or was it something else?
The elder of the pair, looking at the monster closely, narrowed his gaze. To this, the creature brightened its smile considerably.
"I'm not locked in here with you," he said. "You're locked in here with me. One of us did that by choice. The other thinks that they're safe."
It drew a breath, and an abyss seemed to open in its eyes, swallowing both agents' gaze, chewing on them, then spat them free, leaving them gasping, unsure of what had just happened. Without a word, both departed, abandoning the room and the creature haunting it. Lighting up a cigarette, the elder shook, his fingers barely obedient. Her own, equally insolent, joining him, the sign warning them of penalties for smoking in the black site devoid of irony.
"Are those humans supposed to have psychic powers?"
"No, not that I've seen in any documentation. There might be something in the redacted reports from the other captures. That is..." He frowned. "If you're willing to attach your name to the inquiry." Neither spoke, because neither would. Speculation was safer. Exhaling smoke, she spoke.
"Something is very, very wrong. Did it strike you that it's a child, maybe?"
He furrowed his brow, shaking his head. "No. It's a fully grown adult, I think. I think I know what you mean, that they're supposed to be
bigger."
There was another pause, filled with smoke and contemplation.
"That thing is at best 1.10 meters tall. Everywhere that I've heard of, reportedly, they're at least as tall as us. That's 2 meters, give or take."
He nodded to her words. "With you so far, wait." He then gestured to his comms until, "I have an ex working on the ridge, does Firewatch. I can call, maybe get some details off book." To this, she nodded. A few minutes' dialogue in a semi-private niche later, and he returned, shaking his head. "Okay, clearly I should have made it another day because, wow, was she irritated," he said. To this, she smirked and said,
"And now you remember why she's your ex."
He grinned, shaking his head. "Yeah, well, I have some details. Security is keeping the Firewatch, along with Animal Control and a few other wilderness agencies updated on goings-ons, more or less. And yeah, those humans, they're all about 2 meters tall. Although, get this. Whatever it is that the troops are tracking on that ridge, it's a dead ringer for that thing in the room that we've got." An eyebrow raised, and the question needed to be asked.
"So, what's the real story?"
He glanced to the closed door, and the monster sealed behind it, taking an unconscious step back, a nervous expression on his face. They have 60 different search groups, plus about 80 or so drone flyovers, running back to back, and all they're getting is frustrated and exhausted. She bit her lip, frowned, then motioned to the closed door.
"It's not from the file," she said. "Those things are hard to find, let alone catch, and this thing was anything except either of those elements. It begged to be found, never resisted. All it's done is talk creepy and make vague threats."
She furrowed her brow.
That thing is making me feel like we make normal people feel. Helpless, like there's some joke it knows the punchline to and it's just setting up for it."
He gave it some thought, then tapped his chin.
"Fair enough."
he said, then removed a flexible baton from a cabinet in the corridor, signing it out. After a second thought, he extracted another, then a can of vision-canceling spray. Let's go teach this thing some manners and how we do business. She was smiling as she gave the baton a test thump across her palm. That dark excitement rising. The joy of a chair, a bound prisoner, acres of pain to squeeze into a few square meters of meat. The hideous choir about to sing a solo. He opened the door and the chair was empty, bent backward at the rear plate, the legs of it splayed as if a great weight had slammed it into the floor, a faint hint of acrid smoke rising from the bends and warps. The metal was still cooling with soft, irregular pinging noises. In the mirror, not in the space reflected, lay the creature, its smile as wide as it was angry.
"There's a story,"
it said, the voice emanating from nowhere and everywhere, even in the air between the two secret police agents, their eyes wide, hands filled with clenched upon batons.
"About being good hosts to strangers. You have not been good hosts, and I am stranger than most."
The laugh with which followed was a walking echo, bouncing from wall to wall, floor to ceiling, and vanishing instantly, a cackle of a witch gone angry, proud, crazy. Behind them, a door collapsed, and the corridor was filled with scattered tools and implements of agony, the cabinet no longer upright. It was torn into fist-sized pieces, hurled about wildly. In the smoky gap where it stood was the faint outline of the creature, a hazy thing that flickered and vanished.
"A toy chest,"
it said, a tone of glee starting as the two agents ran for cover, seeking out the lockbox with their firepower, eager to level the field again.
"Such wonderful things, these devices of yours. Oh, look. Playmates."
A scream began, raised in pitch, then was culled in the middle, a door folding in on itself like a neutron star had passed through it. No sign nor symptom of the interfering force or object in evidence. All that remained was a freshet of blood throwing itself into the air, splatting on the opposite wall, forming an outline in the air of the small monster. This time, making it even more visible.
"The color is wrong,"
it said, then stepping towards the two agents, each stride covering 7 times the distance it should, soon enough leaving it in front of them, dripping in blood.
"Where I'm from, it's red. Red for people. Still, I will work with what I have. Green is a sacred color."
It exhaled, and its body shimmered, the green blood on its form shifting to a deep, harsh crimson, eyes bright and angry with madness.
Watch me! See the miracle!"
It angled its head, staring at them in the cold, dark way. Drops of blood, now tinted red, crawled up its body, curled around its features like a waterfall in reverse, sliding into the gap at the edge of its curled hat. Second by second, the hat's color turned that awful shade of gore gone wrong, its eyes cool and icy blue, rimmed in frost.
"You called me a human."
It looked at the pair, distaste obvious as they tried in vain to strike it, only to see their batons passing through its body like smoke.
"I am no human. Not born of woman, fostered by man. A son of anything, twinned of a daughter to anyone. I am what I am."
Its smile was wicked. They charged and passed through it, the body slams failing as fast as they happened. Even brute force fell short of possibly harming it, only themselves.
"If you'd fed me," it said, "I could have been harmed by you. If you'd been gentle, I would be weak. Instead, your strength made me strong. Your anger made me wise."
It then reached out, plucking the batons from their resisting hands, then placing them in its mouth, chewing them into oblivion, splinters of carbon fiber drifting to the floor like ashes.
You make me what I am.
It leaned in menacingly.
Mad.
When it smiled, it had teeth like tombstones, pearls of marble white slabs bent to form triangular daggers, molars that could grind granite, and then it bit each of them, just the once, just on the cheek, a mark which would ache and throb and never, ever heal fully, a wound to remind them forever.
When we want
it said,
we will be back by the thousands. On our world, the ring of mushrooms bind us, a prison to keep us in special places.
It grinned widely.
The humans spread our fungus jail walls across your whole world and beyond, so now this is our world as well.
It exhaled heavily.
When they speak of this place, they'll tell tales about you. The two who set loose the creatures who left Earth to free the humans.
It sighed in joy.
For 1,000 years, you're ours. And now it's time to run.
The doors to the basement of the world opened, and the light began to shine through them. Outside, hundreds of short, red-hatted monsters stood in clusters, all armed with wide, easy smiles, war clubs, knives, swords, axes, and the banner of ancient clans from a faraway world.
The Fae have claimed this place.